Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Rambling Toffee podcast. I'm Mark. I hope everybody's had a good last few days. Well, exceptions for Sunday's result. Hopefully, it'll improve. Anyway, it's a special podcast today. We've got Tom Bennett, who is actually part of the Long Island Everton fan group over in the States, and I thought I'd bring him on to talk about his group, but also going to talk about how he became an Evertonian and we could talk further about the results of this season and ongoing as we go through this podcast. So, hi Tom, how are you?
Cheers. Good morning, Mark. How are you? I'm fine. Thank you.
Yeah, no, not too bad. Yes, it's a bit miserable here today. It's raining as usual. Nothing changes in this country, but there
Nothing
we
new.
go. Yes, so you're part of Long Island Everton fan group. When was it actually started? When did you
I
actually set up the group?
I started it this past January.
Yeah,
Never was on social media or anything, but I met other supporters groups in visits when preseason visits when everything came to Baltimore and
yeah,
Florida, and it just got me started. If I'm willing to go to New York City, about 50 miles from my home, let me try one here, and that's how it started. And
yeah.
it's I just learned about social media and everything, but it's been fun. I have a much gratitude. I have a banner up at Goodison Park now.
Yeah.
We have a banner up at Goodison Park. It's been terrific.
Yes, and if you go on your social media page on Twitter, it's at Long Island Long Toffees, I believe. Is that the right for your
Yes,
Twitter
long
feed?
toffees. Yes,
Long Toffees. If anybody wants to go on there, you can actually see pictures and think of the banner, and also some, especially what I've seen also on the Twitter feed is a picture of you with Seamus Coleman as well, which was when you came last season, I think it was.
yes, against Tottenham last season. When the only thing Michael Keane did right was score that goal.
Yeah, so yes, absolutely. So if anybody listens to this podcast, please go on there. Please follow Tom, follow that group. It's absolutely fantastic. And get as many people following his group. Get as many people, especially in Long Island, because how many members have you currently have at the moment?
We're close to 50,
Yeah,
and it's growing. It's. I live in a smaller area of New
yeah,
York, so we're trying to build it from there. But I appreciate that. Thank you.
yeah. Because I think I mean, as I'm finding out more and more from social media specifically, I'm just finding the amount of fans that we have, not just in America, but all over the world, it's just immense how big Everton have a following. But just not just in America, not just in where you live, but also in New York and all over North America. It's just amazing how many fans we have, and it should be appreciated that maybe some fans in this country who support other teams may think that Everton the way they are at this moment in time, thinking that now we don't have that kind of fan base, but we do. It's just absolutely massive, isn't it? So
Yeah, and
amazing.
I found that 99% of the people from Liverpool are glad that we're fans. They
Yeah,
appreciate it. They want us to
yeah,
be fans. There's a few
yeah.
that don't. That's fine. And we
Well,
have the North American Toffees that like are
yeah,
that are like our main the head group of all those other supporter groups. We have about 45 groups, I believe, in America,
yeah,
maybe a little higher.
yeah. And I think the preseason that not this season but last season, which when Frank Lampard was in charge and all the Evertonians came over, and then we had some friendlies over there. Obviously, the results weren't great over when Everton came over, not this season but last season. But in the games, the amount of fans that it was like unbelievable coming from all over America just come watch Everton. It was amazing, even by the fact that we were struggling and not doing really well at this moment in time. But the fact it's just amazed how you know we just continue supporting them through thick and thin. And it doesn't matter how we're performing, we'll just keep on turning up, keep on getting behind the team, keep on doing that. It's just amazing how not just in America when we toured over there, but in of course in this country as well. It's just amazing, and I think we should be appreciate it a lot more than some people don't you shouldn't think about really. So yeah,
I think the core values of being an Everton fan, whether you're in England or in America or anywhere else, are the same.
yeah,
Hard, middle class, hard working.
Yep.
I think that's the relation. I think and that's universal, I believe. And I think that's what I think the fans here feel as strongly as back at home by you.
Absolutely, and that's why it's absolutely fantastic when we see the banners from all the North American fan groups over there and everywhere all over the world, and also when you come over and actually watch the team play, and it's just absolutely fantastic, and it just makes you feel part of a big ginormous family, and that's what I've always thought. Being an Evertonian is all about being a big family, supporting each other and getting behind each other when we're struggling or when we're not struggling. That's what I think what Evertonian is all about and supporting the team. That's what my thoughts are anyway.
I can completely agree.
Yeah. Uh, Now the question is, how do you become an
Sure.
Evertonian? That's the big one. How did you become an Evertonian?
Well, the football history in America isn't that strong until the last couple decades.
Oh yeah,
Um, it really started for me when I was a young boy when Pele came in to
yeah,
America in
yeah.
1975. It was amazing. Wasn't quite sure what all the excitement was about, but I soon found out who he was and and we got to see some marvelous players in a defunct league, the North American Soccer League. We got to see Johan Cruyff, Georgie
Yeah.
Best,
Wow.
not at his best, but
No, no.
of course, the legend, Carlos Alberto. We saw some
Wow.
Franz Beckenbauer came over. We saw some great players, and ever since then, I've been a football fan. And when I was younger, I knew about Celtic, and I knew because of my Irish roots,
Yeah.
and I never could root for a team in the Big Four back in the
Yeah.
day. Wasn't the six, and I have a lot of Irish friends here, family and friends, and everybody was a Manchester United fan,
Mhm.
and I just needed to find a team that wasn't in the four. And when I did some research, and again looking at Kevin Sheedy and looking at the
Oh
Irish
yeah.
roots,
Yeah.
um, it was Everton. And then when I started to watch them in America on a small computer from China,
Yeah.
that's the only games I could get the way it was. And I got them 4:30 in the morning, and I wake up, and my
Wow.
wife thought I was insane. I was watching Chinese Everton matches. But
So
the effort from start to finish is what I loved, and that's what I always love. I don't,
yeah.
and I always saw the effort, and I just grew to love the team and the city, and that's how it really started for me.
When it catches you, that's it, isn't it? When you get caught by the bug of being an Evertonian, that's it. You don't move, you don't change, you don't do anything. It's just like you're hooked for life, really. Through all the roller coaster ride, that's it. It's just that's how it got me. I got it from the granddad. I'll say, he was Irish as well. He's not from Liverpool in that way. We live near to Liverpool, but he's from Belfast originally. He's no longer with us now, but he was an Evertonian. While the rest of my family were all Liverpool fans, who, as I would say. But I just thought I followed him because he played football when he was younger as well, and I was playing football when I started about 7 years old. It was, and he just talked about great Everton players that we had, like the Alex Youngs and the Golden Vision as he was. Dixie Dean, he never really saw Dixie Dean play, but he would always talk about the great players that we had, Alan Ball, Kendall and Harvey, the Holy Trinity and everything like that. And he would just go on and on about how great that them teams were. And at the time, when I started to support them, Everton weren't really doing that well at that point. And I think it was my mates, these my friends, when we used to play football, who were United Liverpool fans, used to wind me up all the time saying how, why are you supporting that rubbish club? They don't win anything, they're rubbish. But then, about a year, not long after, about a year later, we won the league title and we won the FA Cup and we won in Europe and we were a really, really great team. But I always envisaged when my granddad really passionate about Everton. But the funny thing about my granddad, when he actually was going to Everton games one week, he was going to Liverpool games the next week. And that's how he was actually brought, as fans were back in the 1950s and 60s. Instead, he'll go both to Anfield and both to and Goodison Park. But his love was more for Everton than it was for anybody else. But he just went because he just loved football, and I think that was what it was. But that's my roots, and that I'm from where I came from. And good old Irish roots, and that, like yourself, I'm a big Celtic fan as well. I do like Celtic, I'm a big fan. So, it seems to be a link there within Everton and Celtic. So from my point of view, that's my way. And it always seems to be something linked to the Irish people. It always seems to be something linking to them, isn't it? Because how we seem
Completely
to
agree.
we either support Liverpool or Everton. But I've, as much as all the struggles that we've had over the many years, the roller coaster ride that we had, I would never support anybody else. And I think that's will continue to the day I die. And I don't think I know that's how it is. As much as way things are at the moment, they'll get better at some point in the future, hopefully. And we can just keep on hoping, don't we? That's the way it is with being a fan.
If for Everton, I guess I've been a fan since 1999 or
Yeah,
2000,
yeah,
and as you stated earlier, it hooked me. I'm for life. They could put it on my casque.
yeah,
It's for life. And for the longest time, I was the only Everton fan.
yeah,
I got because of my passion for
yeah,
the team. My
yeah,
friends actually follow Everton
yeah,
now. Because I'm only going to tell them about it anyway. They figured they might as well get on board, and it's become my favorite. I mean, it surpassed baseball and football in America for
yeah,
me.
yeah.
It's Everton first, and then the rest, and it's
It
all
is.
year after the season, preseason,
Yeah,
every day.
absolutely. It does. It becomes like 24 hours a day. It's like it's on your mind. First thing you wake up, it's the first thing the night before you go to sleep. It's always like that. And I'm happily married. I've got a 5-year-old, nearly 6-year-old son, and basically, they're everything in my life. But Everton just take up my mind every day on a negative and a positive. It's like you can't take your mind away from it, can you? For 1 minute.
Since I started as a supporters group, it's
Yeah.
every day. And now I would from going never using social media. I wake up in the morning
Mm.
early because of the 5 hour time difference
Oh
to
yeah,
catch
yeah,
what what's what's up with your what's going on at your time in England, and
yeah.
it's like I do it every morning now. I got to check, got to see
Mm.
what's going on, make my likes always
Yeah,
positive. I'm not a fan of severe negativity. You could be disappointed, or like
yeah.
it was Sunday. We all felt terrible, but you move on,
You
and
do.
next week.
You hope for the best for the next week, and that's how it has to be. I think it always is. I mean, that result was just disappointing in so many ways. And you get angry, you get fed up. You think, oh God, I'm fed up with this. Why am I supporting this? You do think like that, and then you give it a couple of days, and then you're back on it. You start thinking for the next game, what's going to happen in the next game? Hopefully, we'll get new players coming through, being signed. And are we going to perform better? What's going to happen? All these things they come back, but it's just being a life of a football fan, isn't it? Really, you go with the pitfalls, but being an Evertonian at the moment, it's like we have pitfalls every week, and it's like never ending. But I'm just hopeful, and that's like you have to be as a football fan, being an Everton fan or any fan. You just hope that the next game you'll play fantastically well, win the game wonderfully well, and everything's rosy in the garden again. So you just hope for the next game. That's
Right.
all you can do, really, isn't it?
If we win against Wolves on Saturday,
Yeah,
everything's different.
yeah.
the
Oh
skies the
God,
skies the skies
it
blue
is.
again. The sun's out.
It's amazing, isn't it? How you could win a football match and it just changes your life and your days. It's just like everything's wonderful in the world. You walk around 4 foot, 5 foot tall, even higher, 20 foot tall. It's like it's how it takes you in it. And when you do lose matches like that and don't perform well, oh, I went missing. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I went, I don't like looking at anything. I don't want doing social media. I don't want to read newspapers. I don't want any kind of information or watch the highlights of the game or anything like that. I don't want to know anything about it. And then it creeps back at you to get back into it again, doesn't it? You start looking at things again. You start getting back into that swing of things. Here we go again. We've got another game upcoming game. Let's get back into this again. It's like never ending.
No, but
But,
agreed. And it's early doors, and
yeah,
last week was so poor that it's
yeah.
a throwaway. You just get rid
It
of it.
is. It is.
It's not even worth dwelling on.
Yeah.
Just
I
move
think.
on. It's
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I've said this, and you've probably seen it in the past. Under the Moyes era when Moyes was in charge, or any kind of period of first start of the season, I've seen games where we've lost two or three on the bounce at the start of the season, and all of a sudden we start winning football matches. Some teams start off really slowly and then start picking up results and start picking up draws or wins and start moving forward. Hopefully, that's going to be the same for us because at the moment, Dyche actually has to deal with the same kind of squad that he's had from last season, and he's getting new players hopefully be incorporated in, and hopefully, this again, it's the hope that we'll start seeing some improvement. But after that result, it's quite difficult at the moment because we keep on thinking that the next game is going to be very similar. But we'll see what kind of reaction that we get on Saturday against Wolves because Wolves are not playing well neither. So it might be a 0-0 draw and then it's how if you think how some teams have started this season, some have started poorly, some have started really well, and then what happens with teams that have fallen away, started really well, will fall away as we go later on into the season. Some teams that have started poorly started to normally will start playing better and actually get better as the season goes on. I'm hoping that will happen for Everton. That will be absolutely fantastic if it happens that way. But that's
Well, the
the
next thing I believe we need to do is like just get out of that relegation
oh
battle,
yeah
get
yeah
into just even, you remember the days when we was finishing ninth and
oh,
10th or 11th,
yeah
there was complaining.
yeah
Right now, I think we'd all pray for that.
yeah.
So
That's
I just
what we
want
all want. Yeah
we could just finish, start, just get out of it for a while,
yeah.
build off, get out of these two
I
years,
think I
build
think
off this year.
Yeah, I think that's what we all want. And I think if you listen to anybody, even on social media or anybody that you see, any Evertonian talking, they just rather us finish even 13th or 12th. They just fit this season. Anything better than what happened last season and the season before, where we just struggled and struggled and struggled. If we can just show any kind of improvement and finish that far,
Right.
that'd be absolutely fantastic. And then we can build on it into the next season when we gradually will be moving into the new stadium. So, it's things like that. But we need to get in that position. All I'm hoping, and probably yourself, is that we don't stay in that relegation places again and again and
Right.
again, because
I
what it
think
does, yeah, go on.
no, you may lose, and I think you may lose the fans if this is the third time around. It may be
Yes,
because
it
the
will
last
do.
the fan base was I mean, all of us, it was fantastic the way they got behind them. But
Yeah,
you can't do it to us for a third year. You can't.
no,
It's
no,
not fair. You got it.
no.
You got it. You can't do it to us again because I think you'll start lose some of them fans, and maybe those protests might get worse. And
You see, yeah,
nobody wants any of that.
no, we just want everything. We can talk about to blue, the things behind the scenes, the owner and the board and all that sort of thing that needs to needs to happen, needs to change, needs to move on. New people coming in, new direction, new way to go forward, especially moving into the new stadium. We need that to take place as well because when you start seeing positive change at the top end of the club, it will filter down across not just the fans because we'll start feeling positive that changes are actually happening off the field and moving forward. And then what happens is the fans are a little bit will be a lot more happier in that front, and then you'll hopefully start seeing that in the team and the manager and that side of things as well going forward. But everything has to move together. I feel the club is so dismantled at the moment, which is all fragmented everywhere. Is that we need to all be together, not just the fans, the board, the owner, anybody. Everybody needs to be all together as one, but it's fragmented because of certain people. And we're not going to have that conversation today because we can probably speak for about several hours about this, that, and all the problems that are going on behind the scenes at the football club. But at the moment, its focus is on the team, getting the team right, and hopefully the other things will start working for us as well. Hopefully, new owners, new people come in and actually breathe and bring this football club back up again to where it should be and where it should belong. Because at the moment, if you go, as we talk about social media or anywhere, it's negative, 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 negative. And even on my podcast that I do, I try to be positive about Everton and everything else, but there's always negativity out there. And I'm talking about when's things going to change, when it'll go and get better. But at the moment, you get a result like that, and of course, it's just throwing everything on more flames on the fire. And you just go on social media or anywhere else, and you speak to Evertonians out there, try and find positivity from anybody. It's difficult. But if we can see something happening and something changing, you know, it would be absolutely fantastic. But hopefully, again, it's about hope. Hopefully, over time, we'll start seeing them changes happen. But
Well, we need
we
we
are,
need the 3 points on Saturday against
yep,
Wolves, but
yep,
of course that's the most important
yep,
as far as football. But we need
absolutely,
the effort from whistle to whistle. We need that. That's
yep,
what that's
yep,
what'll give at least me, I'm sure all of us. That's what gives
yep,
us hope when you see that every tackle when you're
yep,
going after the ball, and that's what
absolutely,
Everton football is about. Always has
absolutely,
been. And if you
absolutely,
see that, that can alleviate some of that negativity because after that, just the way
yeah.
they
It is. It
failed
just
there.
take it, as we mentioned before. I just mentioned that, but as you mentioned that, when you get a result and a positive result, and we play well, and we put that commitment of fight and the effort in, and we can see the players, doing their job, and we can see, hopefully, see, that this team can go forward and can actually, have a good season, even if we were to finish 12th or 13th, but we can see that something working and something going in the right pathway. If we get that result, as you said, it's like night and day. It's like the sky's blue, everybody's happy and dancing and enjoying themselves, and that's all it takes is the result. And if we get that result against Wolves, we're going to because we're going into the international break after that, and then basically we've got that period of time where we can have that positivity going forward, and then we can go into the next game, and hopefully by then we've got hopefully the players in that we want. Fingers crossed. The players that are currently injured, like Harrison, who's we just signed, who's still got an injury. James Coleman hopefully be back soon, and we've got players coming back in. Dan Juma hopefully be back up to speed because he's still getting fully fit, but I know he's played. Like Calvert Lewin might be in a position nearer after international break that will get him back into the position again. And hopefully by then, McNeil as well, of course, he'll be back fully fit. And we've got players back, and hopefully we will be a lot better for it. And hopefully some signings coming in. But hopefully, fingers crossed, Wolves, we get the result that we need, and just to boost us because we need it. It's been ongoing for a long time. The last result,
Your
last win we had, God, yeah, the last win we had was of course Bournemouth, and that was, you know, and
your whole
it's
city needs it more. Your whole city needs it. That's for sure.
yeah, thinking a whole yeah, no, it's just like it's just never ending, and it's even worse when I won't say, but my wife's a Liverpool fan, so
Don't
she
say
goes
that
to
out loud.
yeah, no, she goes to Liverpool games. So it's a battle going on with my 6-year-old to actually who he'll support. So one week he's winding his mummy up by saying, I'm an Everton fan. He's not at that age yet to actually really fully get into it, what it is now. But he understands what we both support different teams. But that's why I set this podcast up because I can't talk to her because she will just wind me up about, Everton playing crap again as usual. And they just like to find anything, to trying to stir me up. But yeah, so I mean, hopefully a positive result on Saturday will help everybody. I think going forward, help the team, give them some confidence, help the manager going forward, help you help us as fans just to take get that negativity out of our heads just for a little bit, just for a little bit. We can just enjoy ourselves a little bit, but we'll see. We've got a few more days.
And I do believe that, and I do believe that Deitch is the right man. I like his out
Yeah,
when he does a press conference, pre-match and after match.
yeah,
He's honest. The assessment is
yeah.
real. He's not lying to us. He's not
Well, yeah,
pretending that it's something it is or it's not. He's I think he's the man. He may not be the man in the future, but for now
no,
to get us
yeah.
into the next stadium and I think he is the right man.
I think was it at full time against Villa. He actually one thing that I absolutely agreed with him. He said, "I wish I could have just taken all the team off at half time. He can't do
Yes,
it. He can't do it
yes.
because we are missing a lot of players, and we need to strengthen it. And as soon as he strengthened the squad, I think it'll help. But he was disappointed by the fact that it was just like we just gave up. It's like you're like just down tools after two down. You just like they weren't doing their jobs to the best of their abilities. But you're right, with Sean Dyche. I think some fans on the social media want him to be gone, but that's just typical knee jerk reaction. I just think it's 2 games in. It's a bit too early to make that kind of assumption. I don't think he should be going at all, to be honest with you. Like as you say, he shouldn't be gone at all. I think he's here to get the squad in the right place and get everything in the right direction. That in the future, when that time comes, that we are in a position to that he can move on and we can bring somebody else in to take the club further forward. But at the moment, he's here. He's the right man for the right job at this time. So I don't, yeah, I can't understand some of the takes that are being taken at the moment by that. But that's just because there was a lot of anger, a lot of disappointment after that result, and I think it just everything just manifested from there. Anyway, yeah, so that's yeah, and I just want to mention because we're talking about at the moment. How did you enjoy your first visit to Goodison last March when you came over?
It was the best holiday I ever had, and I'm coming back for the Derby
Yeah,
on the 16th of March, and
yes.
it'll be my second best holiday I ever had.
You'll definitely you'll owe me a pint.
What I owe a few people pints.
Yes,
I have no problem, and I
yes.
have no problem buying them. I can tell
And
you
you know
that.
what? Yeah, absolutely. Because it'd be absolutely fantastic to see you in March when that game, whoever we're playing in March, when you come over, go in the
We're playing
Winslow.
Liverpool. I'm coming for the
Oh, is it
Derby on the
Liverpool? Oh,
16th,
even
and I'm
better.
going to spend St. Patrick's. I'm going to spend St.
I'll,
Patrick's Day in Liverpool.
yes. Oh, yeah. I will definitely be there for that one. I can never miss the Derby games. Just before we go, and thank you very much for this conversation. You've got some shout outs to out there
Yes,
to friends.
I have 3 friends that have adopted me as a Scouser, and I could not tell you how honored I felt when they did that when I was there last year. My friend Tim, my
Yeah.
friend Richie, and my friend Billy. That I met them in Baltimore, and I feel like I've known them my whole life, and it just makes it that much better for me. It's
Yeah,
just fantastic. And
absolutely.
I thank you for reaching out on social media and asking me. I appreciate it.
We'll do this again sometime again, and we can talk about go through the games and everything else as the season go on. We'll reach out again, and definitely when you come over, to the Derby game and St. Pat's, definitely have a pint in Winslow. We can have a good chat then when you come over. So that'll definitely be organised. So yeah, it's been absolutely fantastic chatting to you. I do appreciate it. Just to mention that if anyone wants to follow Long Island's Everton fan group. It's at Long Toffees, and you can also find your Instagram and Facebook pages, I think, on there as well. So just please follow them. Get follow them as much as possible. If you're in the area, if you live in Long Island and you want to become a member and go to the games that are taking place over there, obviously you're going to bars and that sort of thing. Go and watch the football. Please reach out to Tom. He's always there. He's really, really, if you can, give him a follow. You can get as many followers he can possibly can. So thank you for that,
Mark,
Tom.
I really appreciate the time and the sentiment. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you, Tom, and I'll speak to you again soon.
Yes, cheers. Thank you.
Okay.